Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's flight we're going to be looking into the performance of the sim with a lower internet speed. We have doubled the internet speed that we had previously, so we've gone from 25 to around 50 megabits per second download speed, and we're going to have a look and see the performance impact, if any, on the sim. So the flight today we're going to be doing from San Francisco International. We're going to fly over to San Rafael, which is to the north, and we'll have a look at the performance as we go. Up we go, a bit of a crosswind today. As you can see, we're getting blown off to the left there. We'll be landing from a different direction to the one that we did last time, so we'll see how that affects us. Hopefully we won't get smashed into the ground, but we may well do, so that could be very exciting. We'll start our turn now to our flight path. So over up to the north there. We'll have a look at the scenery as we go. We're doing this area because you've got a good mix of photogrammetry, city scenery, along with the nice kind of scenery, the hills and mountains and so on in this area. There we are, San Francisco International. Frame rate at the moment about 80 frames per second. I was speaking last time about performance on this machine. It's quite an old one. I built it in 2018, so quite a few years old now, isn't it, by computer standards. Internet speed, we're looking at about 50 megabits per second, which is, yeah, it's sort of the recommended speed, isn't it? A lot of people were saying that you should be looking for more like 200 megabits per second. So I guess I was quite wary about buying the sim initially, knowing that my speed was way lower than that. I'm just going to skim the top of this little mountain here. So differences then with the improved internet speed. Maybe a little bit less pop-up, pop-in. Hard to say. We'll fly over to those buildings over there and see how it looks in that area. It's all looking good. So I think we'll do a video as well about the graphics settings. If anyone's interested, please do comment, and also obviously comment any other ideas that you'd like to see videos about. And I'll do a video about frame generation as well. I was a little bit, I don't know, I had issues with frame tearing and sort of screen tear when I was initially using frame generation, it wasn't clear to me how to really use it. Disparities as well with the minimum and maximum frame rates that I was setting and what I was seeing in terms of actual frame rates. So I'll do a video about that if anyone's interested in the future. Also, I think we're going to take a look at sort of like bush flying, I guess, landing them Skywagon tail dragger type aircraft. Because I found that pretty tricky when I first started flying in 2024 due to the mad turbulence that you seem to get. Yeah, you can still see some popping over there, but that might be the settings I've got. So I've got about 180 on the terrain LOD. Quite a bright evening here in San Francisco. So there's the city. You can see it looks pretty good, but there is some popping that you see every now and again, quite distracting. I mean, maybe that's just the way it is, and maybe if I set the train LOD to way higher, it would be better, but I can't really do that, I don't think, because of the CPU that I've got. So my CPU being, well, it doesn't do hyper-threading basically, it's quite an old one. What does seem to have improved with that better internet speed is those black lines in the water, so I can't see any of those now at the moment. We'll see how that goes as we fly along. Graphically though, pretty convincing, isn't it? Alright, so we're going to fly out over the water here, nicely on the flight path, and then we'll see how the water looks, and then maybe we need to do a video about those artifacts in the water. So I did have an issue with like when you're looking at the water, you'd have one very clear sort of line in the water, and then smushy, blurry water around that. Hard to describe. So, and then obviously you get those nasty black lines a lot, don't you, as well? So maybe it's time to do videos about those as well. Certainly I know how to fix the former that I described, so if you got any of that, subscribe and I'll tell you how to sort that out. And I'm going to keep an eye on these black lines that you get in the water, and we'll be able to try and figure out whether it's related to internet speed or not. I had it a lot in the south of the UK, around Southampton, so I'll take the plane there at some point to check that out and see if that problem persists. And if it doesn't, maybe we can say that internet speed is the problem there. But if they do persist, then perhaps we can't be sure. Such a beautiful looking sim there, isn't it? So we'll head out over here, and we're going to land just after the sort of peninsula just over there. The skin I've got here is the one I got off of flightsim.to. It's a free skin. Looks quite nice, I think. Quite an attractive one. It's like a kind of metallic thing going on in the stripes there. Quite pretty. What was I saying about future videos then? Yeah, so one about frame generation, maybe settings, and the Skywagon. So I'll put some tips there on how to manage that particular aircraft, or tail draggers in general, in terms of landing them on short strips and so on. I was inspired by something that happened to me recently. I was on a hill near where I live, and I had no idea there was an airstrip nearby, and an aircraft flew right over my head, and I watched it fly down the hill and land at this, well, I mean, it was just nothing, just a tiny little field really, but it is in fact in the sim as well. Avon Lane Airfield it's called. So we'll do a bit of that, and I'll give you guys some tips on landing those types of aircraft if anyone feels like they need tips. It's quite fun when you've got a very short space that you're trying to land on. It's quite exciting. It's looking great, isn't it? We're going to start getting ready for our landing now, so we're going to move over this way. This time we're going to be approaching from the east. Last time we had to come in from the west, dictated by our flight plan and the wind direction. Quite a bumpy landing last time, wasn't it? Hopefully maybe it'll be better this time. Let's hope. Got caught by the wind a bit there. So our destination is that little, you can see it, well I say little, quite large hangar in the centre of your screens right now. Can't really make out the runway yet. Okay, there it is. Let's turn on that. There we go. So what can we say then? If doubling the internet speed does seem to have improved the sort of black lines in the sea and generally lines on the terrain. So I think those are probably due to like, you know, downloading the scenery from the losing my power, downloading the scenery from the internet. So if it can download it very quickly, it seems that you get less of that. You can see a little bit of it there, and obviously the scenery generally looks better there, especially the sort of buildings and things are looking a lot nicer. Whoa, that got a bit sketchy, didn't it? It's crosswind, isn't it? A little bit of crosswind correction required, and I probably should have put it in earlier to stop that rather alarming initial roll down the runway on one wheel. There we are. So yeah, conclusion, obviously, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? The better internet you have, the better. 25 is enough, 25 megabits per second. 50 is obviously better. And further tests, I suppose, are needed to determine whether the whether the sort of terrain artifacts and those nasty black lines are related to the speed of your internet connection. But we'll look into that and we'll see. So if you're interested in that, subscribe and you can see how we get on. Well, thanks for watching then. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you on the next one.